Hi everyone, welcome back to Writer's Workshop. We've learned so much this unit. I'm really excited about how far you've come in your writing. This unit, or this lesson actually, is going to be about revising. So yesterday you learned the difference between editing and revising. And I asked you to choose your best true story, the one that you wrote that you would like to share. So I hope you did that. Let's watch this lesson and then get to work. During our writer's workshop, you listen attentively, make sure you're sitting in a comfortable spot, and write down any questions you have so you can ask me later. We have already learned a ton. We learned everything from we make a mental movie, right? When we're writing, try to get the reader to also see what we saw. You could include actions and details. You rehearse by storytelling, so you don't just like squirt it out on a paper. You tell your story first. That really helps you think about how the story should go. And the more you tell your story, the better it becomes. What else did we do? Oh, we used our narrative writer's checklist really to help us figure out how can we make our writing better. And I know that some of you are using that. I hope that more do. That's really an important tool for you. We talked about leads so that you can try out different ways of starting your story. Tons and tons of things. So I already answered your question, but think about what I've just said. How many of you can tell me something you learned? I hope every single person can. Today I want to teach you how to have balance in your writing. So we talk about empathy tool. That's having balance between how you feel and how a friend feels. We talk about balance in math. On each side of the equal sign, you have the same amount. That is balance, right? And we do that in writing too. When you're writing, you have balance. If you don't have balance, you will have too much of one thing. So for example, some writing has like way too much dialogue. So there's not enough description so that the reader can figure out where you are. So other times writing doesn't have any dialogue, and so that maybe it has too much description. There just needs to be a balance between the two. So here's an example of balanced writing. It's actually from our mentor text, Come On Rain, and it goes like this. I stare out over rooftops, past chimneys, into the way off distance, and that's when I see it coming. Clouds rolling in, gray clouds bunched and bulging under a purple sky. A creeper of hope circles round my bones. Come on, rain, I whisper. Do you see how that author gave you a bunch of description and some dialogue that referred to what the description was about? So that's what I mean by balanced. When you do this lesson, you're doing it in Nearpod. So what I'd like to know is, how are you going to work on revising today? Everybody's going to be rewriting something they've already written. I'm curious about, are you going to add dialogue? Are you going to bring out the internal story? Are you going to add actions and details? Are you going to look for boring parts and take them out? Are you going to add to the heart of your story? Those are just a few of the things you could do, but I'm curious about how many people are going to do what. So you're going to answer that question. And then we're just going to think about what we've already done, and we actually already did that. We try what other authors have done. We did that with Come On Rain. We talked about making sure that you know, where is the heart of your story? What's the most important part? And make that bigger. Make that what your story is about, instead of the pieces on either end where you're getting up and you're having breakfast, you're getting in the car. What is the story about? Bring that out. And then you can do that by saying in your story, in quotation marks, I wondered, how long I was going to have to stand in this line at Magic Mountain. Or I was thinking that the waves were just crashing and I was worried about the crabs and the tide pools. I don't know. So you can talk about what you're thinking. And then just make sure that your details are are balanced with your dialogue, that you don't have too much of one thing or the other. So as you're writing today, that's what you're thinking about. You're trying to make your writing balanced. So if you're a writer who's used a lot of dialogue, you may want to look and see if there's space where you should add in some detail. And if you're a person who hasn't ever put anybody speaking in your writing, you may want to add that in. So today you're going to revise your story. You're going to work on only one story from now until the end of the unit. So whichever one you chose yesterday, that's the one you're using. And then you're going to upload that into your writer's notebook. So write it on a piece of paper or in your composition book, and then take a picture so that I can see the first draft. I would like to see the first draft and the second draft and the third draft. Remember to write revised at the top, or version 1, version 2. Awesome. I can't wait to see your writing. Let's see here.